Hey guys, Braden from Adrenalin Rush. On this episode of the Kite Fit program, we're going to be talking about the Sumo Deadlift. This is another variation of the deadlift family, and just something you can add into your program to add a little bit of variety. Now, what we're trying to work on is posterior chain engagement, hamstrings, glutes, really getting the back half of our body really firing. Now, if your lifestyle is quite sedentary or you sit down at an office for a extended period of time, this is something you might want to look at, okay? Now, the difference between a sumo deadlift and a normal deadlift, one is the stance. The stance is a lot wider, hence the name sumo. And also, sometimes your hands can be a lot narrower as well, okay? Now, you've got to take in consideration the bar that you do use. These bars don't have any center knurling or don't have a full knurled bar, so these can be a little bit harder to do a really close grip sumo deadlift for weight. But if you do have a proper deadlifting bar or an Oki bar or something like that, then they're going to be designed to be able to sumo deadlift a lot easier, okay? Now, the width of the sumo deadlift with your feet can be determined by your hip range of motion and basically how far you can keep your knees out over your toes. So one thing that I probably wouldn't recommend, and nothing against powerlifting or anything like that, some awesome athletes out there, but we're just training to build posterior chain engagement, not for pulling a massive amount of weight off the ground. But for me, I don't necessarily like to have my toes facing out like this and being super wide, okay? I just don't feel like that's as relatable to kiteboarding, okay? I generally like to keep my feet relatively straight, so we're still working on building up that nice core stability with our feet. I mean, we're going to be, our feet position like this is very similar to kiting anyway. We never really kite like this, okay? Now, big thing that I like to do is when I do come down into the starting position of our sumo deadlift, we're driving the knees out, okay? So we want almost vertical shins, okay, if we can. That's what we're doing, is basically keeping our knee joint lateral force free, okay? It's just a simple hinge, okay? So once we come into our sumo deadlift starting position, now if you do like to go hands close together, that's fine, or you can go a little bit wider, but I generally go a little bit closer. Now, I use that width of my hands as well as just a rough guess. I just feel that's comfortable for me. Now, the big thing you want to make sure is that you're in the center of the bar as well. So you come down into your starting position, make sure your knees are out, nice straight back, spine is neutral, and when you engage your lift, that you come up all the way to here, okay? Notice the bar didn't leave my body at all. It's really close and really stable. As you come down, break at the knees, bar comes down the thighs, passes the knees, and back to the ground. Up. When you come all the way up, you're really trying to squeeze through the glutes to get that glute activation. That's why a lot of guys do sumos, because it really hits the posterior chain. Try that, add it into your program and see how you find it. Big thing you want to consider though, maybe you want to wear some long socks or put some strapping tape down the front of your shins. Can take a bit of skin off, especially if your legs are out in the knurling, okay? Have a go, see what you reckon with the sumo deadlift. Very simple exercise, remember, nice straight back, shins vertical or knees out as far as we can. Gauging through the glutes, and keep it simple and keep it controlled. This is the sumo deadlift. Braden from Adrenalin Rush. I hope you got something out of this video today. I'll see you next week for another episode. Cheers.
Check out adrenalinrush.net.au for all the links.